guys, it's your boy Corey.
It's your boy John.
And welcome back to the Artistry Drop, where we feature stories from today's rising artists.
Yes, sir.
If you like being inspired, don't miss out on our weekly episodes, so be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification to be notified when we drop new episodes.
Let's go.
Guys, our guest today is a rapper, singer, songwriter from Orlando, Florida. He's collaborated with Southern legend Boosie Badazz, and his new single, No Reservation, is currently charting in the top 100 in Miami and on Spotify. Guys, please welcome Bstar.
Let's go.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Hey,
Thank you for coming
Thank
through.
you for coming in, bro. We
Yes,
definitely
sir.
appreciate you being here.
Thank you guys for having me. Shoot, that was
Thank
a
you.
hell of an intro.
Hey,
You gotta do it right, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this your first podcast, or have you been on a couple of others?
I've been on a couple others, but production value wise, like
Oh,
it keeps going up.
Hey,
there you
guys
go.
are killing it.
Hey, thank you, bro.
Thank
No,
you,
we
bro.
appreciate it. Always gotta love. You should have saw our original podcast setup, because
Yeah.
this shit was like
It was hella bootleg.
it was bootleg. Yeah, it was bootleg as hell.
It's cool for people to be able to go back though and see the progression.
Yeah,
Definitely,
yeah.
no,
for sure.
definitely, yeah.
dope.
Because even when we look back at it, it was like, you know, we had the black foam, like the soundproofing and all that,
Right,
and
yeah.
the lighting was so basic, and
Right.
you know, just looking back at it and see where we've come, like it's super dope.
Hell yeah.
You know,
We
seeing
came
the
a long
podcast
way,
grow.
yeah.
So I mean, a lot of people know already. Like, guys, this isn't our apartment, but we are trying to get like a actual studio and all that shit, and hopefully it's coming soon.
I'll be honest,
Right.
from like watching a few episodes, I would have never.
Yeah, see, a lot of people
Yeah.
say that. No, a lot of people always say that. They actually think we have a studio
Yeah.
for the podcast, but we're like, no, it's literally just in our apartment. And yeah, it's crazy. We had like sofas here, and you know, we talked about creating this podcast for a minute. You know,
Yeah.
we moved down here from Seattle.
Like 4 years now?
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
4 years now. So, you know, it's like we've talked about it even before moving down here. We're like, you know, we should start a podcast and stuff. Finally, after, you know, during COVID and all that, we finally, you know, went on it and came out with this shit. We weren't even sure
Yeah.
how this shit was gonna do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that you guys did a great job.
No,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
thank
bro.
you,
Yeah,
bro.
no, like it, you know, the podcast is still growing, and podcast is definitely like a lot harder platform to grow. But you know, bringing guests, you know, like yourself and a lot of the other guests we've had, you know, it definitely helps.
helps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it helps,
definitely
yeah.
helps
And
bring.
it helps us artists too.
No, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
it helps all of us, you know, in general. But also, we just love talking to people here on the podcast. It's
Yeah.
always a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's always fun. Just kicking it, get to learn everybody's story, because majority of the people that we bring here, sometimes, you know, we haven't met yet.
Right.
But then we've had a lot of homies that, you know, we've known for a while, and we just get them on the podcast and, you know, just vibe out and talk too. So
Yeah,
that's real.
Yeah,
Super
hey, but yeah,
inspirational.
thank you once again for coming through.
Yeah.
No,
Definitely
thank you.
appreciate it.
I did a little bit of research. My bad.
No, you're
And
good.
You're good, yeah.
You guys, one of you guys went to film school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
well, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
into that.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I did some. We got to do our research too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all right, but before we do get into Bstar's story, guys, let's get into the drink of the day.
Okay, this is drink of the day. It's pretty simple. It doesn't have a name. It's just a mango pineapple margarita. So I poured some pineapple juice and some mango puree, put some chamoy around the rim, and then topped it off with some tahini. And that's the pineapple mango margarita.
Yeah, that looks fire.
Well, cheers.
It is fire.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers with my
Yes, sir.
Coke.
Yeah.
That is fire. Wow.
Thank you, man.
So you are a bartender?
No, I'm not.
He does
I
all
was
the
a
bartending.
barista.
Yeah, I mean, he does
That
all the
turned into a
bartending for the show and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
so we've been doing this for about a year now. So my bartending skills, you know, has
just
been
gotten better.
yeah,
ever.
you should have saw all the
elevated.
basic drinks he was making before. I mean, it wasn't that great, but now
Yeah.
he's like gotten creative with all of it, like
Yeah.
designing the cups and all that shit. It's pretty dope. So
Yeah,
no,
no, it's fun. So we're gonna go right into you. You know, you go by the name Bstar. Can you explain like the story behind your name and how you got into music?
When I was a kid, we would always like freestyle and stuff at school.
Oh, okay.
And I freestyled one day, and a kid was like, "Man, you're a star, man! Like Bstar!" Like, because he was
Okay.
just playing off my name.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I just like loved the way it sounded. Like to me, it was like a real celebrity name.
Okay.
And I just stuck with it ever since like 6th grade. for
Oh,
real.
damn.
that's dope.
So you've been performing ever since, like in doing music ever since?
When I was growing up as a kid, I was like in church. So even in church, I would tell
okay,
people
okay.
like, call me Bstar.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was just like my nickname. Because as a kid, I didn't really like the name Bernard. So I thought like Bstar, that's really cool, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So
So does anybody call you Bernard, or did they just call you Bstar?
Yeah, they call me. I mean, every variation of Bernard.
Like B, Yo B, and stuff like that.
Bernard. I have them all.
So since you were raised like in the church, you must know how to sing then.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Okay, got some soul in you.
I got a little bit of soul in me. Southern soul.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, that's
that came through with No Reservation. So that, I think that's why that one did so well.
Okay, mixing the two. Yeah.
You know, you're originally from Orlando, Florida, and you moved out here. I want to say somewhere around 2012, right?
Yes.
How has your time out here in LA been?
It's been very interesting. I grew up. Basically, like when I came out here, I realized now that I was like a kid at 18.
Yeah.
So like all those years was just like me growing up and like trial and error, and you know, I never got into any like serious trouble. So thank God for that.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
Like other than that, it's been learning lessons and like just getting older, getting better, and then finally like getting here to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know, like it's just like us. You know, when we first moved out here, it was definitely we had to get used to the lifestyle out here because you know LA is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so much weird shit goes on here and just like weird shit in general. Like, I mean, how about you? Did you have to kind of adapt to things here in LA?
Yeah, I mean, especially coming from the South. So I came from like a very conservative household. Like I said, there was even church involved.
Yeah.
And then coming to like liberal LA.
Yeah.
It was very wild. It wasn't as crazy as it is now in 2012, but it was just like it was a lot faster than like my small town.
Yeah.
So going from being a small town kid to then living in the big city with no parents, I had to learn discipline, like self-discipline, because mom and dad weren't there anymore.
Yeah, facts.
That's crazy because most kids would have been rebellious and got into trouble and everything, but you really like was self-disciplined. So that tells us a lot about you.
I had a goal like that I was gonna like in a couple years I was gonna make it, you know, like in LA.
Yeah.
So getting in trouble was like I couldn't do that. Like that was the thing that was gonna mess me up.
Right.
So I tried to always stay away from trouble.
Yeah,
that's
no,
dope.
you know, that's almost like our story because originally, like you said, you know, I attended a film school for a while and pretty much, you know, like the goal was always to move out here to LA and pursue, you know, the film industry and, you know, stuff like that. And see, with him, you know, we were always doing shoots. You know, we've done music video shoots together, photo shoots, and all that. I would always take him. He would pretty much shadow me and, you know, do his own thing while we're on the same set shooting stuff.
Okay.
And, you know, I told him, I was like, bro, you know, like, I'm about to graduate film school. Like, I'm trying to move down to LA. Like, are you down to move? You know, and it took a minute for him to actually want to even, because it wasn't his dream. It was like my dream, you know, but I just offered it to him. I was like, bro, like, you know, if you want to come out here and, you know, do shit out here with me, like, let's go, you know. So it took him a minute to finally decide, you know, let's fucking go, you know. And definitely, yeah, like I said, you know, for him too, I was like, bro, you know, once we move out to LA, we definitely gotta keep our mind like on the prize, you know, like
it can get
you can definitely get mixed up in a lot of shit out here, you know,
a
and,
lot.
yeah, you know, and that's why I told him, you know, I was like, we got to just keep, you know, our eye on the prize pretty much and just, you know, try to get that success that we're really trying to aim for and stuff like that. And you know, it's still been dope out here. You know, we could still have fun, like, because originally, you know, it's like when we move out here, we're like, LA, like, you know, we don't want to get into the LA party life and all that shit. You know, we're still out here having fun, but we're also still, you know, grinding it out and doing all our other shit. So you can maintain both. It's just, you know, there are some people, and we've known some people where it's like they get mixed up hella into the party life and then they forgot exactly what they came out here for.
Exactly.
Because whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's LA, you know. So if you're looking to party all the time, like eventually you'll find the crowd and they'll get you in. So you'll be partying all the time. But like I feel like as we work more, we still have a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, exactly.
We do,
You know, like we randomly go to some party, but it'll be a work related thing, and it's like, man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
So I
Best
mean,
of both worlds,
yeah, a little bit.
That's a good way to put it. That like whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find, because LA has so many different parts into it. You know, and that's something that we're learning the longer we stay here. And you know, like he was saying, like it's easy to get mixed up into like the party life or just mixed up into anything, because so many people are doing different things and they're, you know, they want to bring you along, and it's easy to like lose sight of your own vision because you're riding off of somebody else's vision. Right. And, you know, you want to support them, but at the same time, like you got to think about yourself too. So yeah, it's easy to get lost. And once we got here, we were like, we got to stay focused, and that's where we are now.
Yeah. And like you said, you know, kind of like you did say, it's like, you're able to mix in fun with work pretty much. And that's what I feel like. I mean, the podcast is pretty much work, but we're also having fun, just talking to you and, just everyone that we bring out here. And, it's always a vibe. And, like I said, even, when I'm out doing shoots and stuff out here, it's still fun, like we got to be serious at one point, but and then you're also having fun on set and just vibing out and stuff like that. So I definitely agree with that too. It's like you can have the best of both worlds, have fun, but also just put in that work at the same time. I know the music in Florida is also pop, just as much as LA. Like, it's definitely on the come up over there. Like, do you think you'll ever move back home and do music out there, or is LA, you think, where it's at for you?
LA is like my home because of my children, but like I definitely would like to get to a point where I'm going back and forth, because I have a lot of like listener base in Florida, because like I still have support that people from like high school and stuff that saw. So, but LA, just being where I am right now, is the best market to work. No,
it is. Yeah. But like Florida definitely has been coming up. I've seen so many artists coming out of Florida and stuff, and that's why I wanted to get your take as an artist from originally from over there. Like, would you ever go back? So it's cool. I mean, like you said, your kids are here and stuff. So this is pretty much home now. Does your family like ever come out here and visit you, or they do?
They usually come out twice a year, or we go there a couple times a year. Like, we still like go back and forth, but like if things are like moving, or when things are moving, going back and forth will be a lot like easier and more. It'll make more sense to go back and forth that frequently.
I mean, it's just like us too. Like I only get a chance to go back home once a year, because I'm so busy working and stuff like that, and just flying out there, it's definitely tough. It's definitely tough maintaining work and then trying to go back home and visit family, and it, like I said, LA is just so fast paced, and when you got so much going on, it's like, it's hard to leave it, because that's your income, and all that shit. So
even when people come here to visit you, it's like you have to move things.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the other thing.
And they tell you last minute, like, hey, I'm in town. What you doing tomorrow? It's happened to me so many times. I'm like, bro, I can't just stop everything.
You live on vacation.
Right. Hey, I'm in town. What you doing tomorrow, bro? I got a whole day planned.
Facts. Of course, after doing some research, I did find out you went to the LA Film School, which I also did. I went to LA Film as well.
Oh, that's dope.
And graduated there. So originally I went back home in Seattle. I was attending the Art Institute of Seattle. That shit was school. I mean, that school was shit. And then coming out here in 2015, I found out about LA Film and went there, graduated 2019. And I had a great experience. I think LA Film was awesome. Did you attend the music program or film? Because you do like both.
I attended the film program because I learned music in high school, and then I wanted to learn how to make a music video for myself.
Yeah. So you went to film school just for that? I went to the film school. Damn, that's crazy.
So when I went, like, on the first day when everyone was like asking like, what do you want to do? And I stood up and I was like, I want to make a music video. Everyone looked at me like, what? You came to film school to learn how to? But then the teacher was like, no, that's film. Like, that's a big part.
It is. Yeah. And you know what? For me, when I attended Art Institute, like the last project, because I started filming music videos back in like 2011, and it just pretty much progressed, and that's why I also wanted to go to film school, was to learn about shooting more music videos. But it wasn't even just that. I wanted to go to film school to learn overall everything about film, because I love film,
Right.
And like I said, film school is definitely. You learn a lot. You do learn a lot from film school, and it does help you later in life. But it's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it is. It's a lot of.
I'm still paying that.
I'm still paying for mine. Yeah, trust me. Like, especially coming from 2 film schools. So I went the one. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, that shit is.
And before I signed up at LA Film School, I went to the North Hollywood AI.
So you went to AI as well?
No. I just went to check it out.
Oh, okay. Because they're gone now too. I think they went bankrupt.
Were bankrupt. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you got lucky.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't finish off school there, because supposedly what was happening with other students, I left like in the middle of the year. I had 2 more years left, but it was, like I said, it was a shit school. Like, it wasn't even that great. They would change teachers all the time, and I just don't think they had any idea what they were teaching and stuff like that. I didn't feel like they were even part of the film industry. But, versus like being in LA film, everybody's in the film industry.
And if you were missing a teacher, it's because they were shooting something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know,
yeah, and that's
dope.
Yeah, that's why I love the school, because you know I forget his name, but he was pretty much the grip and lighting for Too Fast and Furious, and he was my teacher. And I was like, this is fucking dope, because I loved Too Fast, Too Furious and all that. I forget his name, though. I forget his name.
I had this teacher, I think his name was Morgan. I feel like he taught...
For grip and lighting?
Was he grip and lighting?
That's what he specifically was teaching, was lighting.
Okay, so that wasn't grip and lighting then. That was just the lighting teacher there.
It was pretty much the lighting teacher, but they were teaching everything, like grip and lighting.
Yeah, I know.
Gaffer,
I started in November 2012.
Yeah, so you started way earlier than I did over there. I started 2013 at Art Institute of Seattle. And like I said, you know, when I first checked it out, it looked so good. You know, it looked so cool. They were gonna give you fucking Canon 70s, you know, for all the film stuff, and then they didn't give, and they stopped doing cameras or giving out cameras the year I went. So how about you?
No, we didn't get cameras.
Even in LA Film?
Yeah, no, we got a laptop and a bunch of software.
That's it.
But I think they started giving out cameras during COVID, because So I attended LA Film from 2015 to 2019. They did the same thing, laptops, all that, but they also gave us Sony FS5 cinema cameras. Yeah. No, we had an equipment rental room where you could go and like rent out the equipment as you got certified in it. Oh. So like you couldn't be a month like 6 and get a red camera because you hadn't taken the class yet. Yeah. And if you missed the class, like me, because I was like, I had got a job right around the end of the program. Yeah. So I was missing a lot of stuff. So there was a couple certifications I had to make up because I had missed it when like it was time to go and take it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was different because you were in campus.
Yeah, I was majority online.
Oh,
I was all online.
That's why you got a cinema camera.
I got this whole cinema camera because, you know, I didn't move down to LA till 2019. Okay. But, you know, previously I had already checked out LA Film and all that kind of stuff. But even, you know, it's crazy because the online program, I learned so much more than I did being on campus at AI.
Oh. Yeah, being from Orlando originally, I was supposed to go to Full Sail.
Oh yeah,
but like you guys, I had a burning desire to move to LA. Yeah. Like that's where it's at. So the advisor there was like, "Oh, we have a sister school in LA called LA Film School." So she transferred the scholarship I had gotten.
Oh, dope.
And I moved out here and just
in a heartbeat.
Tried to tough it out.
No, I mean that was. You know, it was pretty much the same thing as me. I mean, obviously, I had to start over. I couldn't even transfer credits from AI over to LA Film, so I had to start all over.
LA Film is the same way. I'm not talking bad, but when I like left LA Film, there was like 2 credits that I was able to transfer to the next school, which was just community college. I was just going to like brush up on some business skills. And they were like, yeah, we can't take any of these. These are all private school credits.
Yeah, you're lucky. Wow. Yeah, and just like AI is private school as well. So it sucks, you know. So it was pretty much I did 6 years of film school. And it was repetitive, you know. I was like, "Fuck!" But you know, I had to do. I had to do what I had to do just to get that, you know, the
core classes like English. And
I had to take all that shit again, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, and math is like the subject I hate the most. Yeah. So
I would tell you what, like, repetition will make you a master of anything, but because I met a lot of guys like growing up in Florida that. Filmed a lot of stuff, so they just naturally got good at cameras through YouTube and everything. But going to film school will prepare you for the film industry.
Exactly.
Because when you step on set, they're using terminology that you're not used to from YouTube videos.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we've talked about before was, you know, the difference of going to film school and just versus like learning on YouTube and all that. And that's exactly what I always say is because when you go to film school, you're learning to work in the film industry. You're not learning to just be an independent a self-employed filmmaker and stuff. You're literally working to try to get in the film industry and work on set of films and exactly, you know, you're gonna learn a lot of terminology that you will not learn on YouTube because people bypass that shit. Even some people that teach on YouTube probably don't even know terminology as well.
Right.
You know?
Like if you learn on YouTube, they're gonna teach you about like, you know, film and bring it in and color grade it, but then in film school they're gonna teach you like shooting in log. And then it goes to a different house. And then it comes back here and then So yeah, if you could be like a really good videographer, self-taught, but then when you get in the industry, it's like, wait,
it's
we're
different.
Doing what?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, like I said, that's why I've always told people is like, don't go to film school unless you're planning to try to get a job in the industry. Don't spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars on film school if that's not your intention, because you're just spending money on nothing pretty much. If you're just going to be a music video videographer and stuff like that, learn on YouTube. That's all I would say. And that's why
I feel that.
Yeah, and for me,
that's why I haven't gone.
That's why I've taught him everything.
I got Mr. Miyagi right here.
Yeah, so
teaching
like,
me everything too.
But that's why I told him too. It's like I'm definitely down to teach you everything I've learned at film school, just because you don't need to spend that money. But
I feel that,
and it's like I said, for me, my intention was always trying to get in the film industry. Just trying to get my foot in the door and stuff like that. And it took a while. It took a while to finally get something in the film industry, but I'm doing it now, and it's amazing. But of course, I still have my side stuff where I'm shooting music videos and photography and stuff like that.
You're directing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that was the goal. Like I still want to shoot like music videos, but also I'm still trying to work my way up through the film industry.
What is your like goal in the industry?
Definitely my goal, like I would say my main goal right now is being Steadicam up, like for films. Right now I work for the Oscars. So,
congrats.
Thank you. It's awesome. I love working there. You meet a lot of people, in the film industry and stuff like that. But it's not... working for the Oscars wasn't my intention. It's just kind of something that came, and I was like, yeah, this is like my foot in the film industry, because I know I'm going to meet so many people, and I'm finally there. But the end goal would definitely be, Steadicam up on like actual films and stuff like that, So I'm definitely trying to work my way onto, because, I got my whole Steadicam set up. I'm trying to make a reel and, stuff like that. But that would definitely be my main goal.
We're going to have to talk for sure.
What about you? Like, what's your intentions with like film? Because I know, of course, you're doing music too, but...
And as a musician, like it's directing or producing really, because even like some of the songs that I write, some of the songs that I write, like I feature other people in them, but then at the end of the day, like I still want to bring the whole story together, like the whole music video, everything you saw, like the idea came from Bstar, and like you know what I'm saying.
So you want a whole storyline, and that's that's the way I always try to do my music videos, is literally like from concept to storyline, and because of course there's so many music videos out there that just don't make sense.
I feel that.
They just put a bunch of effects on it, no storyline and anything,
And of course
that's
we all
low
start
budget though.
That's low budget, but we all start off like in that specific way at one point, and
run and gun,
running gun, and stuff like that, and that's why like I feel like with some other music videographers, like they just kind of more the run and gun with effects and stuff like that. How do you feel about effects? Just curious.
I think they're starting to get a bit overused.
Yeah,
right.
But there's just like a lot of guys that can do it, so they just you just throw it in there.
No, exactly.
You gotta do it when it makes sense though too.
Yeah,
because sometimes it don't make sense. They just
I've
they just
seen
make
it
it look
done
cool.
very artistically, but then sometimes it's just the rim pops off the car, it spins.
Yeah, I know, like all the transitions and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's cool, but it's overused now. Like I feel like those were things that were cool years ago.
Right. And expensive years ago.
Yeah.
And then over time, it gets cheaper.
Yeah.
So now it's like...
more accessible.
It's more accessible.
Yeah.
And now like that cool Cole Bennett type stuff is expensive. So it's like people are doing the effects and, the transitions, But you can also just write out a storyline.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And then just follow it and get your shots.
Yeah.
My whole intention whenever I shoot music videos is definitely just trying to make it look as cinematic as possible.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
like that's the goal. Like I feel like one music video I always look up to because it's like a fucking movie is Taylor Swift's Bad Blood. That shit is fucking a movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you watch it, it's so like the cinematography and everything that goes into it. I felt like I was watching a movie instead of a music video.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
That ties me into your question a little bit. Like I said, my goal though, I guess I would just, if I gave it one term, would be producer. Because even when I bring projects together, I like to hand pick every single person that's on the project.
Yeah.
But if I was like, if I'm gonna settle down in the industry, I like to be a colorist.
Oh, you want to be a colorist.
So like one music video that really inspires me is Post Malone's "I Like You."
Okay,
with Doja Cat.
Yeah, with
it's
Doja Cat.
so colorful.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and I've heard it was shot on film, so I'm like, wow, you know, the colorist did an amazing job. Like, telling that story and just making you feel happy through the colors on screen.
I would love to work with film one time, you know, take it back to, you know, how it originally was. And, you know, digital is fun. And of course, you know, we have raw. What camera do you typically shoot with?
I use a Lumix BGH1.
Okay. What? I haven't used a Lumix. Like literally the last time I used Lumix was GH4.
Oh
yeah, that was a minute ago. What is there like a raw format for Lumix now?
No. You can't shoot internally raw on this particular camera. So you have to use an external recorder. So I use a Blackmagic Video Assist.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So that I could shoot B-raw.
Yeah.
But I also have a Blackmagic Pocket like 2.5K. It's not a Pocket. It's a Blackmagic Cinema.
It's the original one.
Yeah,
I got the Pocket.
Yeah.
I got the Pocket 4K. So that's what I typically use.
Got it on offer up. Couple $100 like randomly, and I was
wait,
like,
$100?
A couple hundred.
A
couple hundred.
That's still good.
But it was a steal. Yeah, it was
that's
a steal
because those are still going for like $1,000 or so.
And they shoot raw internally.
Yeah.
So I had to get like the laptop hard drives, but I actually already had a couple laying around.
Nice.
So
nice.
It was perfect.
Blackmagic is definitely I feel like the camera nowadays. I mean, there's so many other cameras out there. My goal is definitely get like either a Red Raven or the Red Ravens are old, but they still shoot so well and they're cheap right now too. And then of course I don't know if you've heard of Z cams. Z cams are awesome.
The Z cam is sort of like the BGH1. It's like the little box camera.
It's a little box camera.
Yeah. The Red Raven, that's the big boy. I would settle for a Red Komodo.
Red Komodo, I would definitely. I mean, they just dropped a new one too. It's like $10,000 or something like that.
I think I saw one for $5,000.
No, I think like... so. No. So I think the Red Komodos, like, the original one, because they just dropped a new one. I think just a couple days ago. Yeah, the original one is like 6K or something.
The Red Komodo 6K. Yes.
That one, I'm definitely like I'm looking into it as well. But I gotta look into like the lens mounts, because I think you do have to buy an adapter for it, just to use like EF lenses and all that kind of stuff. I'm not quite sure. But
the one I have is a Micro Four Thirds. So
I mean, it's at Blackmagic. I mean, Blackmagic
and
products.
Lumix.
Yeah, and Lumix. Yeah, they're all Micro Four Thirds, and
they do have one, the BSH1, which is also a box camera, but it's full frame.
Oh, that's
and I didn't realize it was out until I bought mine, and then I saw that one, and I was like,
Don't you just hate that? That always happens.
It was a little bit more expensive, so I was thankful for what I had.
One camera I definitely missed, and I sold it just to get the Blackmagic, was the Sony FS5 that the school gave us, because that was 35 millimeter. Like it was amazing in 35 millimeter.
Shit's huge though.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge, but it was definitely not for run and gun. It was like just rigging it up. It took like a while, just rigging it up, and it's heavy.
The BGH one, it shoots great, but rigging it up takes time because you have to put a monitor on it because it doesn't have a built-in screen. So it's just a brain. And it's like every time, and everyone's always like, should we use a different camera or should we bring? Because we always know we have to rig it up. And
get attention. You might get kicked out.
I know.
Yeah, we know we get kicked out so many places.
Especially out. You know what? We've been kicked out so many places in Seattle, and we expected when we come here that you're like, it's fucking LA.
It's
like,
photographer, videographer friendly.
Exactly.
Right? No, but oh my God, we've been kicked out so many places here too, and it sucks. But
the amount of times I've been asked, "Do you have a permit?" I should get a permit.
I know, right?
And I still don't get permits.
No, I still don't get permits either, unless it's in the budget of the artist. If they're willing to spend $700, I think it's usually $700 for just a day here. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, the worst experience I had was shooting at Venice Beach, on the beach near the police station. They came out and they were like, "Do you have a permit?" I was like, "No, I didn't know I needed a permit to shoot here because you're in a like public beach and stuff like that." They're like, "No, you need a permit." Blah blah blah. Because I was, I had my DJI. Ronin. I had my DJI Ronin M, and
so you had a lot on.
Yeah, and they saw that, so that they said if you take it off, you can use it, but you can't be using a gimbal. I was like, what the fuck, like. You know, and that
it has to look amateur.
It has to look amateur, pretty much. You know, and
I recently got kicked out of the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook.
Oh, I've shot there before too.
And I looked on Instagram. I saw all the wedding photography and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this is cool. This is photographer and videographer friendly.
Yeah.
No, park rangers came up and like escorted us up to pack up our stuff and waited. And then like, all right, you guys ready to leave? And it's like, oh, we're just hanging. No, you got to hang out somewhere else. They wanted us out.
Yeah. Like I said, LA is still not friendly, guys. So any videographers, photographers out here trying to move and think it's friendly out here,
gotta keep it low key.
Gotta keep it low key still.
Or pay to play.
Pay to play, pretty much. That's true. I mean, I'm definitely not trying to spend $700 if it's if it's in the budget, we'll do it for sure. But you know. We kind of touched on it already, but you know, you went to film school for music videos, and I had seen a clip of you actually using a Steadicam.
Yes.
Yeah, I seen that. Was that your Steadicam?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, we have gear and stuff like that. So a lot of times, like, I'll just bring in like people that know how to like work as a team.
Yeah.
And then we'll put projects together. Yeah. So we have a lot of our own equipment. Yeah. So we don't have to rent it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's usually how. I mean. If you look back there, that's all the equipment. You just got to, like I said, it gets messy back here. But, you know, of course, you love being part of the production and stuff as well. Like, are you typically part of the whole pre-production, post-production, and all that?
I'm
from beginning to end.
I'm on Zoom calls with the editor, and then we bounce the timeline to DaVinci, and I'm on Zoom calls with the colorist. Yeah. You know, sometimes I'll like to color it.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
And then he'll just be like guiding me.
Yeah.
You know, because I really just want to be hands-on. Yeah. You know, from start to finish, to be like, this is presented by the artist.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And that's dope, you know, and there's not a lot of music artists that do that.
Yeah, that's
true. You know, definitely not a lot. But you're in a different situation because you actually went to film school and learned all this. And you definitely want to be part of the whole production and experience of everything.
Right.
You know, so... That's super dope. I mean, even just like me, when I edit the video, I want the artist to be right next to me and edit with me because it's so much easier.
It eliminates revisions.
Yeah, no, it does. Like, you know, we sat down with one of our other homies, and it was like we did a 12 or 14-hour edit session. You know, I was just sitting there. He was telling me, you know, we're going through all the shots, and I was like, what do you think about this? And then, you know, it was ping-ponging ideas back and forth with each other. But it's just so much easier instead of me having to edit, come up with a rough cut, export that shit out, send out another, like they come back with their notes, send out another. The last music video I did, I sent out like 5 rough cuts. I'm like, bro, like you got to just come over and so we can kill this shit out in like one day. You know?
I guess to be honest, that's me just in the artist point. Like I've done so many projects where like, it's like, dang, if that one cut right there. But then I guess I kind of learned like, only send the stuff you want used. Yeah. Because then if you send all the footage, then they're going to see it their way and put that there. And it's like, oh, I wouldn't have used that shot. Then don't send that shot.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I was diving a little bit into your YouTube, and you have a video speaking about like the pros and cons of shooting your own music video.
Yes.
And I noticed most of your videos, you have the Intrepid Media Giant tag at the end of your videos. Is that a production company that you created, or?
That's my production house, record label. Like that's my hub for creativity, you know?
Okay.
So if I was going to paint, I would release it through there as well.
Oh, dope.
And Intrepid is another word that I found around the same time when I acquired the Bstar name. I was looking at the thesaurus. We were learning about those in school, and my word was brave. And then when I looked into the thesaurus, there was a word intrepid.
Yeah.
So ever since a kid, I've just like loved that word. So,
yeah,
like,
it was my first time hearing that word too. I was like, I had to search it out. I was like, what is it? What does it mean? So it's definitely creative. How long have you been running this production company?
Officially since 2019.
2019.
Right before COVID. Like I had got all my money together, like everyone else, like we're gonna do it, and then all of a sudden, everything shut down.
Yeah, that's dope. That's something that we've always wanted to do too. We've been, trying to bring people along.
We got a business loan.
Yeah,
we got a business loan and all that shit. And that was the original idea. I mean, you can kind of touch on.
Yeah. Original idea was to move down. We got a loan. We wanted to open up our own like studio and kind of rent it out for people to use, kind of like peer space and stuff like that. But then once we moved down and started looking at leasing spots, COVID hit, everything shut down. So, and then that's kind of how the podcast like came about, because we were trying to think of different ways to like start a business,
Right.
So yeah, and that's
technically we still have the business loan and it's sitting in the bank. We could technically just get a studio now and just do that shit, but
you gotta just price it out. And I mean, I was literally gonna say like that dream's not dead.
No, it's not, and that's why we still have the loan. Like it's still sitting there, and it's just we haven't done anything with it yet. We came up with the whole business plan and all that shit. You presented to the bank, and it was a long ass process. But I mean, it's still just sitting there, and that might be an idea. I mean, honestly, like maybe even just renting out a studio and building a podcast for people to rent out, because people are renting out podcast studios nowadays too. So
if you can make it an event space, that would be dope too.
Oh yeah, that would. Yeah. I just don't know how big it would be. Like honestly,
that's true.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely don't want like a big ass spot like for a small ass podcast, But we haven't talked about that. I totally forgot about the whole business idea, until he brought it up.
We just been so in tune with our own projects and shit.
Yeah. You've been working though.
Yeah, so working.
Maybe the universe just brought it back to you because now it's time.
Yeah,
right. That is true.
We'll have to definitely talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So since you're a director and a cinematographer, have you ever came across like other directors or production crews that were kind of like difficult to work with because your visions don't align? Whether it came to your own music videos or just a project in general.
There was a project I did where I felt like I'm gonna leave it nameless and generous.
Of course.
You did.
There was a project where I felt like the artists didn't understand their own vision, and they were trying to direct their own video.
Yeah.
So I found that project a little bit difficult, and I felt like the final product could have come out better if all the ideas for all the shots were more understood.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have ideas, but they don't understand what goes in behind a shot.
Yeah, that's true.
So then when you get there to do the shot that they want, it's like, we can't I don't have the equipment, or I don't, so, No,
that sounds exactly like our story. Because it's usually me and him that, when we do the big budget stuff, we're working together. And I would say it's really hard working with an artist when they don't have their own vision for their music video. Pretty much passing on the concept, ideas, I'll create the whole shot list as well, when it comes to the shots. And, it's hard when, when I create a whole shot list and I pass it off. Yeah, that looks dope. Like, let's go. Comes day of production, we get on set and they're like, oh, this shot doesn't look good and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's why I gave you the shot list so we can agree on stuff. So we production gets
we just run through it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And, of course, you know this as well. Like, things don't go as planned when it comes to production day. You hope it does, but it just doesn't. Everything, like, so many things get fucked up on production day. Yeah. And it's crazy how much shit like actually gets fucked up on a production day, because you see it in your mind like, oh, we got the shot list, we got all the equipment and all that, but everything just doesn't go as planned. I mean, even
shoot day and it's like overcast.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the worst.
Right?
That's happened to us multiple times, and or shooting in a place where you're like, oh, this place is perfect. Like we won't get kicked out. You end up getting kicked out. It's
that
the worst.
one day.
That one day, I know, right?
You watched it on YouTube a bunch of times. You went there and scouted out. No one was there. The day you want to shoot, there just happens to be a security guard.
Oh my god! Wrong. Yeah, like the one that we ended up getting kicked out on, because we always do location scouting as well before we go to a spot and stuff like that. But we drove down there a couple times and we're like, let's do it here. Beverly Hills, with all the palm trees and shit. Yeah, we were like, it's so dead there, right? But of course, I think it had to be one of the neighbors seeing us do some shit. They probably called security. Yeah. They kicked us out right away. And it's like, fuck. Like, now what are we going to do? Now we have to go to a whole nother location and try to figure this shit out.
Luckily, LA has a good like amount of palm trees.
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah, they do.
Is, yeah.
But it's still to the point where it's like, that's the kind of shit that goes bad. It's like if you do get kicked out, you have to think on the spot, like, where can we go shoot the scene now? You know,
exactly.
and that's the shit
that will match.
Yeah, that will match.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, that's where a permit will come in handy. You can shoot anywhere you want in LA, pretty much, you know, but $700, like, and that's per day.
Yeah.
No. You know,
nobody got that for sure. Yeah, I liked how you mentioned how you know, sometimes the artists don't even know their own vision, because we've had so many artists where, you know, we sit down, have a meeting, you know, talk about the overall vision, and they don't have anything. They don't have a vision of like what they want their music video to look like, so they leave the creative process onto us. And then sometimes like, you know, we come up, which it makes it harder on our end, because we have to kind of like, you know, dive a little deeper where their mind's at, and sometimes what we create doesn't match what they
are feeling.
Are feeling, or what they envisioned, but they didn't know how to communicate it. Yeah. So you're just like stuck, you know, and I feel like that's the situation that you're in too.
The particular situation I was in, it was very similar. But it was really about the camera movement.
Okay.
And like I said, sometimes the viewer doesn't understand, like, the camera is moving sideways, but it's on a robotic arm that's moving it sideways. Or the person has some sort of like steady camera, something like that. So if you tell the person that there's still shots and they bring a tripod and then all of a sudden you want movement, it's like, well, we gotta go handheld, because I wasn't prepared for moving shots. No, I guess on my part, it's like always be prepared for anything.
No, exactly. And that's why, you know, I'll usually bring every single piece of equipment I have, just in case, because you never know, you know. And usually, on the shot list, you know, I'll always say either tracking shot,
static,
you know, and orbital. Pretty much like orbital shots, you know, whatever like they're looking for, just to make sure, like, are you cool with this shot? I always usually tell them, like, make sure, look at the shot, the type of shot, so you guys know exact. But of course, you know, artists, they don't know what we're talking about. Like, they have no idea what we're talking about. They're like, what is a tracking shot? Well, you know, of course, you got to explain to them what's a static, blah, blah, blah. You know, static is just on the tripod, you know, and but that's why, like, because you just never know what's going to happen on the day of shoot. It's just good to have all your equipment, like, on deck, you know.
I feel
exactly.
No,
for sure. Yeah, so diving a little bit deeper into your music, you know, back in 2020, you released a powerful song called Civil War, where you're talking about, you know, Black Lives Matter movement, and the song and the music video was like so cinematic. I felt like it could have been like in a Marvel movie. You know, I'm curious to know the story behind the creation of the song and like what it meant to you.
The creation of the song came about, I met this super talented guy. He was actually a doctor of music.
His name is
Vulcan. And I reached out to him on social media because I had this song, Tweety, the one with Boosie Badazz, and I wanted to do this like this acapella type of like instrumental flip to it. Because I saw the guys like doing the guitar and the ukulele covers and stuff, so I was like, you know, it'd be cool, a violin cover.
That was hard.
So when I reached out to him about that, he started talking to me about how he wanted to like contribute something like to society. And he was like, I like there's so much Black Lives Matter stuff going on, but he didn't feel like he had a place to say anything because he wasn't black. So he was like, but you, like, this is your and he realized the type of artist that I was.
Right.
You know, he like, after having conversations and stuff, he was like, this type of song, like, this is the message for you. Like this is your style, you know?
Yeah.
So, because at first I didn't want to be political in music. Because I don't know why. For some odd reason, I didn't want to go there too much, but
sometimes it's a double-edged sword, you know?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, there was a lot going on at that moment. So I don't know. I just really felt inclined, like okay, like let's do it. And you know, the support that he brought another artist in, and she was really with it too. So it was like, okay, like let's make a statement then. You know, so that's what we did. You know, that's what we did.
Yeah, that was
like
fire.
He didn't want it to be bubblegum. He wanted it to be like powerful. Like he wanted to talk about the black fist and everything. So that's why it took me some time to be like, let's go there then. You know, let's do it. You know. because I guess I didn't want to be a middle of the road artist.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to stand for something at the end of the day. So it was like, yeah, let's do it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That also shows like your versatility as an artist too. You know, it gave like a different avenue for you, because I think it's marketable for sure. Like when it comes to like movies and stuff. Yeah.
For sure. And then he actually found a director from Miami, and he flew her out, and she was part Black as well. She was part African American as well. So she felt very passionate about it after hearing the song, and we went out to the desert somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
And shot the video and stuff. So yeah, everything came out like really well. Like everyone was really passionate about the project that was on set.
Yeah.
And it came out really well.
Fire.
So
that's
fire.
Yeah,
it was a very proud day.
You could tell in the video, like everybody was just there for that purpose, and there
was shots where it was like, let's do it again, because we really want to feel the passion.
Yeah.
And like I did it until like they cried, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I felt that one.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's dope.
You know?
Congrats, bro.
Yeah.
So speaking about, visuals, I love the visualizer you did on your newest single, Childish, where it's just a loop of you running up with a bouquet of flowers, and then a girl's finger comes out and flicks you back into place. I think it's so simple, but genius at the same time. When it comes to like ideas like that, or even like into your own music, like who has been some of your like biggest inspirations?
Well, believe it or not, that inspiration came from Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
I saw Will Smith do a similar reel, and I was like, man. And I had the song Childish, talking about, really it was talking about my girl, and and how she can be from time to time. And I was just like, that would be a really cool idea if it was a girl's hand, and I have like the flowers, like I'm trying to please you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we come up with the ideas. Like we try to relate them to the song, so that somehow the audience that sees it will still be interested in the song as well.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing that Will Smith reel, because it looked so, like, I was like, I've seen something like this too, and now that you brought it up, I was like, okay, it's a super cool effect though, and it's all like, it's pretty much all almost practical too.
You're right.
Like, you can pretty much do everything in camera.
You can almost, but then even the editing side of it is not that hard.
Yeah.
Like it's not that much editing that goes into it, so we were able to put it together.
Yeah. No,
that's dope. Yeah.
Your single Tweety, of course, we've talked about it a little bit, featuring Lil Boosie, which dropped in. Does he still go by Lil Boosie?
I think he just goes by Boosie Badazz.
Boosie Badazz?
Now.
Okay, yeah. Because I used to listen to him back in high school, and that was a long ass time ago when he used to go through by Lil Boosie. But it dropped in 2020, and it's definitely a banger. Like, was Boosie somebody you had always wanted to collaborate with, and how did you make that collaboration happen?
Yeah, Boosie being a Southern legend, like I wanted to make a song like coming out the gate for the South.
For the South,
and it was during COVID time, and like I kept seeing him pop up on social media, talking about how he was doing deals and stuff. Actually, it was a little bit before COVID. When I recorded the song with him, he was still doing deals, but it was Christmas deals. Like he was like, I'm doing this for Christmas, saying to help out, independent artists. And the price was like within my budget. I had been DJing for a while in LA, saved up some money. And I was like, let's make a real band for the South, like with a legend,
Yeah.
And I had a high school buddy who was in his like clique. So my high school buddy, I don't know how he got in his clique, but he liaisoned the whole deal.
That's dope.
And I went to his house and everything. So like, he's a really cool guy.
Was that music video filmed at his house?
No. We shot that maybe like 10, 15, 20 minutes away from his house.
Oh, okay.
It was in Atlanta. Like that was his only rule.
Too.
Like when I wanted to do the video, his only rule was like it has to be in Atlanta.
Okay.
So yeah, we had.
So
to
how
shoot that
about
in
recording
Atlanta.
the song? Did he just record it remotely and put it on the track?
I recorded my part in LA.
Yeah.
And then we sent it to him, and then the day I flew in, he recorded his part there.
Okay.
Oh,
Like he's
On the
pretty
spot.
quick.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been doing it for
That's
he's
true.
I
so
know.
he does it.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Is there like any other artists you would love to collaborate with, like in the future, that you're trying to make happen?
Let's see. That's a good question. It will be a female artist. If any, I would definitely love to collaborate with a female R&B artist. I think that would be fire.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to do a flip side to Childish, where the woman is now like responding to the man.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fire. Yeah.
And telling him why she's acting this way.
Yeah.
I think that would be really dope.
Yeah.
Name wise, I think Coco Jones is really dope. You know, I think there's so many people. Like, I don't want to say anyone that's like crazy big. I want to say someone that I feel like is on the up and coming that I could like really like see myself trying to reach out to and actually work with. So yeah, Coco Jones would probably be like one of them right now, or Chloe Bailey, not the one that was the Little Mermaid, the other sister. I think she would be really dope too.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I would love to see that collaboration happen.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That'd be fire. You know, I did see you performed at NAMM 2023, and for those that don't know, it's pretty much a convention for everything music. How dope was it being a performer at such a well-known convention like that, and how did you get the chance to be a performer?
That came through my guy Javier. Shout out to Javier. Because that came out of nowhere, but they had a stage where they were showcasing their speakers. So they were like, they had DJs, and they wanted to do some performers too, not just DJs. So Javier reached out to me because he likes my music, and he was just like, "Yo, you should perform." And I did the first performance, and then somehow got hooked up with a second performance too. Like the first performance we did was at like a private like party type of deal that they had. It wasn't private, it was public. Like I invited people to come. But the second day or the third day of NAMM, they had like a stage in the middle of the showcase floor, and they wanted me to do it again.
That's
so
dope.
Like
dope.
I got a lot of exposure.
Who was the company?
Bass Boss.
Shout
out to Bass Boss.
So they just do speakers pretty much?
They do speakers.
They
so that shit knocks
speakers.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like
that's what they pride themselves on, like the knock, the bass.
Is it pretty much like studio monitor speakers, or just like DJ speakers, or what is
like
it?
Like event speakers?
I think it's a little bit of both. They've done like speakers for studio setups. But then at the same time, I think like a lot of like festivals and stuff like that, like when they really need it to knock, they come in and they set the speakers up and everything. I've heard they build them, like they bring the stuff to the location and then they build the boxes and everything.
Oh shit!
Because it's like the speakers are just boxes, you know. So yeah,
that's crazy.
That is dope.
What was your favorite part of NAMM?
Performing. I'm
Seeing the whole crowd.
No, my favorite part, I guess, would be like my favorite booth was probably Inbox, like the M Audio station. Because when I was a kid, we had an Inbox like mini that came with a version of Pro Tools Lite, so that's how I first started recording. We had Cubase, and then we all got our money together and bought an Inbox, because that was the only way you could use Pro Tools back in the day, was to have a hardware. So now to see like 20 years of Inbox, or like, you know, however long the Inbox has been progressing, was really cool. Like they took a lot of pride in their new like Inbox studio.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm also a big M Audio fan, because back in the day, you know, I used to produce music as well, like before I got into like filmmaking and all that. So M Audio was like the most well-known like company out there. So, you know, I had like that M Audio MIDI keyboard, that M Audio super cheap ass like monitor speakers that were like $100 and you know, stuff like that. And it is crazy to see how far like definitely like M Audio and all them have come and stuff like that.
All of them, especially like Audio Technica. That was my first mic, the AT2020, and now that mic is like considered like legend. And I'm like,
no, everybody uses that mic. I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, we are coming to the end of the podcast, and usually how we like to end the podcast is just talking about you know, get a little inspirational for the viewers out there, because we love inspiring the next generation of artists out here. So what advice would you give to someone trying to become like a rapper or singer, songwriter?
Keep going. That's like my mantra. So you just have to like keep writing and keep going. As a teenager, I was writing songs that I thought were like hit records, you know, and they were getting me fans, you know. So you have to keep going, because everything compiles, you know, on top of each other. Like you get new fans in, and you keep putting out content to entertain the fans you currently have, and you know, and they inspire you. And then the other thing is something that people have been telling me a lot lately is like, enjoy the now. Because like sometimes you get so caught up on wanting to be somewhere that you don't appreciate where you are now. And where you are now could be like the fun part. Like you could get to where you want to go and it could be hell.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like, you think back and it's like, damn, we were actually kind of having fun back then on the come up.
Right.
You know, so enjoy where you are now. Like even if you're in high school, like enjoy high school because you're not paying bills. Yeah. So, you know, you haven't moved to the big city yet, because I believe all you guys' dreams are going to come true. But now, you know, you're still in that small town where you're not paying bills yet, and you're able to save, and you're able to record as many songs and put out as much content before you become a real adult and you realize like, damn, half my day just went to a shift at a job I hate, and now I'm able to get home to do what I love, but I'm a little bit tired now. So like, you know, but then if you're in that position right now, be thankful for that position, because you know, somehow you have to find a way to be thankful, like where you are, because that is what's going to fuel you to keep going. Because if you just keep thinking about like where you want to be, it somehow it makes you feel like crap where you are, because you just think like, I'm not where I want to be yet. So yeah, don't think about it too much, but just know that you're moving.
Hey, that's some good advice right there. I appreciate you, bro. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give to the viewers?
Man, shout out to my whole team, man. Shout out to my boy Beezy. Shout out to my man Bnard. Shout out to the team in Atlanta. Shout out Power Moves and everybody. And shout out Intrepid Media Giant, definitely. Shout out to my boy Hi-Fi. That new single, Childish, it's a banger, man. And Hi-Fi definitely, he brought his touch onto it. So that record wouldn't be what it is without my boy Hi-Fi, man. So shout out to Hi-Fi and go stream Childish.
Hey, let's go. Where on social media can our viewers find you?
You guys can find me at Bstar's World, BSTARS World, on all social media platforms. You can type that in on YouTube and you'll find me. And then on streaming platforms, it's just Bstar.
Hey, let's go. All right, guys. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, Bstar, appreciate you coming through, bro. Like, this was definitely a dope talk. You know, finally got to talk to somebody. Yeah, finally got to talk to somebody else that had attended LA Film. Because you know, the people I know at LA Film, they're off doing their own thing and you know, and stuff like that. So it was really dope talk, bro. Appreciate you, guys. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, it's Artistry Drop. If you're not following us on Instagram, you can find us at the Artistry Drop. And if you prefer just listening, you can stream all our episodes on all major podcast platforms, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.